subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at P4P Boxing Real News. What is going on? So, negotiations are being started for Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. As of right now, what's going around is that Devin Haney wants more money. He wants more money from what Lomachenko's already given up from his purse. Obviously, this fight is a fight that everybody wants to see. This is a fight that people are, obviously wanting to see, right? Um, from a business standpoint, as far as Barbarian and their promotion company, they probably thought that this fight was going to be made and this and that. But Devin Haney wants more money for the obvious reasons that he has more to lose than he has to gain from fighting a guy like Lomachenko, right? Obviously, he can make a defense against Isaac Pitbull Cruz, or he can make a defense against Shakur Stevenson, right? Which I think that a fight with Shakur Stevenson is a better fight for Devin Haney anyways. I think that that's going to be a more challenging fight. I think that in that type of fight, yeah, he has way more to lose than the game, all right? So I feel like Devin Haney should definitely be wanting to make this Lomachenko fight because he's going to be obviously, to me, I feel like Lomachenko is the easier opponent than a guy like Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is obviously a young guy, two-division world champion, and very hungry. And just getting up 135, very dangerous inside of the division. Where a guy like Devin Haney, he's already about to be out of the division. He's about to be out of the 135-pound division and into 140 very soon. Okay, so I feel like this is a fight that Devin Haney needs to make in order to, Lomachenko. A lot of people may want to say what they want to say about Lomachenko, but it's a good name to have under your resume, even if you're not beating the Lomachenko that Tiafimo beat. You know what I'm saying? It's still a good name to have under your belt, regardless. Now, if you go up against a guy like Isaac Cruz and he pulls off a stunning upset, fans are definitely gonna critique you. They're gonna say everything in the book about you, that you was never a real champion, and this and that, right? I think that with a fight with Lomachenko, I have probably a 90% confidence that Devin Haney could get the job done against a guy like Lomachenko. But I feel like if you go up against a guy like Lomachenko, you're kind of solidifying your legacy because you beat the guy that a lot of people felt was a real was the top dude. You know what I'm saying? Especially at this moment, people still feel like Lomachenko is he's very up top. You know what I'm saying? So for you to beat that guy, it'll give you a lot of respect around the boxing world. So for Devin Haney, I understand that you have nothing to gain with this guy, right? Obviously, you have nothing to gain with this guy. This guy, he has no leverage. He has nothing to really, uh, that you really want from him, right? Except for the name. Okay, so look, Devin Haney right now is just stalled out. He said, "Man, look, y'all can't give me what I want. Then I mean, obviously, I can defend my titles with someone else, right? I think the Shakur Stevenson route will bring him in more respect instead of him going the Isaac Cruz route, which is probably the most likely route if he doesn't fight Lomachenko. I think the Isaac Cruz route will be the route that he would take. You know what I'm saying? But a guy like Shakur Stevenson, now if you fight a guy like Shakur Stevenson, you will definitely be credited and full respected throughout the sport of boxing, because a lot of people feel like I feel that Shakur Stevenson is the next in line that's going to be the one that's going to be terrorizing the 135-pound division. And once he leaves the 135-pound division, that 140-pound division, I think that those are going to be he's going to be terrorizing both divisions. So you might as well get him now that he's at 135, and instead of him getting all his confidence up and he's on top of a mountain and he just feels almighty and he keeps getting better at his craft and he becomes that guy potentially, right? So for Devin Haney, he's stuck in a situation where he goes the Isaac Cruz route. A lot of fans aren't going to respect it because you have two names that are very respectable as far as uh, Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson. When you go the Shakur Stevenson route, you're gonna get more respect from more boxing fans if you're able to beat a guy like Shakur Stevenson. Now, if you go the Lomachenko route, you're gonna be respected because that is a good name and a very credible name to have on your resume. So he has two, he has three names. He has three names that he can defend his titles against, and that is Lomachenko, Isaac the Pitbull Cruz, and Shakur Stevenson. All right. Now, the best possible fight for him to make is the one he's already negotiating in, the one that he was negotiating in. And hopefully that Lomachenko budges and gives him a little bit more money that he's asking for. Right. Obviously, the fans want to see this fight, and Lomachenko really wants those belts. So if Lomachenko really wants those belts, Lomachenko's going to have to budge a little bit and give up some more money. You know what I'm saying, to make this fight happen. We're definitely going to be seeing when these negotiations fall, how these fall, how they go, and I'm excited to see what is going to happen with both fighters because um, you know, Timothy Bradley said, like he said Devin doesn't need Lomachenko, and but Lomachenko needs Devin Haney. So whatever Lomachenko is guaranteed, he should be able to give some of that money to Devin Haney or something, right? If you really want those belts, very understandable. I think that's straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? If you have no leverage, you really have nothing. The guy's just fighting you to fight you to defend his titles. Then obviously, you're gonna have to budge. You know what I'm saying? This is the champion asking for more money. You know what I mean? And that's a security blanket. Obviously, we kind of know that if Devin Haney was to win, he's trying to get the most money that he can because obviously he's not sticking around with top rank. He's gonna move around and try to get fights. I'm guessing all over the place, right? And just have that being an independent contractor, right? So it's gonna be interesting what these negotiations are what's gonna come from these negotiations, obviously, right? I feel like I said, Devin Haney, Devin Haney is gonna he's weighing out his options. He has options, right? He's the champion. He has options. He has people that he could defend his titles against, right? Lomachenko is not the last guy on earth. Lomachenko is just a good fight, and it's a fight that the network wants. Obviously, I personally rather see him at 135 against a guy like Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a more competitive fight to me, right? In my liking, I think that'll be a more competitive fight. I think that it's a really good fight for Devin Haney. But will he take that fight? I highly doubt it because obviously Shakur Stevenson is coming from being a champion at 130, and he's obviously confident. 135, I think he's gonna terrorize 135, and then he's gonna move up to 140. And he's gonna terrorize 140. I mean, Shakur Stevenson is that special in my book, right? I think that he's that special. But other than that, I think Devin Haney should stick with the negotiations with Lomachenko. Get that fight done. Don't look for Isaac Pitbull Cruz. That's not a fight that fans are gonna respect. That's not a fan that's not a fight that people really gonna be like, oh yeah, Devin Haney is a dog because of he fought Isaac Cruz. You know what I'm saying? We know what Isaac Cruz brings to the table. We've seen Isaac Cruz before. He's a good fighter, not a great fighter. He could definitely be neutralized. He's barely flat-footed. You know what I'm saying? So we know what type of fight that's gonna be. another aggravating one punch lunge type of fight for Devin Haney, where I think where Lomachenko or Shakur Stevenson would make him think a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I think that those types of fights, they're gonna make him think inside of that ring, and we're gonna see if Devin Haney is really that guy at 135 or 140 when he gets up to 140. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see what these negotiations are gonna bring. I hope that this fight gets made, because obviously we've had fights in the past that have not been made and are not going to get made, and get made way too late, and this and that. This is not one of those fights that's going to get made way too late, because it's just not, right? But will this fight be made? I hope that the money doesn't make this fight fall out, right? I think that this is a good opponent. But obviously I do favor Devin Haney because of more advantages in the fight, right? Obviously, you have to favor the champion, and the way, and the reason why is because, um, you know, on paper, and when you see him in the ring, he has those physical advantages over a guy like Lomachenko. Lomachenko is obviously more skilled, but physical advantages are also, they play a big part inside of boxing as well. You know what I'm saying? So we'll definitely see, man. We'll definitely see what goes on, man. Um, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified. Follow me on Instagram at P4P Boxing Real News. Catch the playback, man. And